Entire area because there was an event that only lasted for a couple hours.
I see. So a mold map could be useful if it's been felt consistently in that area over time and by multiple people. So very much like a scientific experiment.
I think only for the very worst buildings. For most of the situations, the confounders are so overwhelming that it's not even worth making a mold map.
I see. So it's obvious, but it's something that we could make maybe a post about, or some kind of, because for the novice, being my wife and I, when we first discovered this thing, that mold map was at least something we can look at and go, okay, well, where is somewhere where someone like yourself may have, who has gone through what Sienna has gone through, has looked at it and said, okay, well, you know what? It's good right down here in the low part of South Carolina, low country, down in, where did we go, honey? Edisto Beach, right? And so Edisto Beach was one of those areas that on that mold map that we saw, we went, well, maybe Sienna can go get quote unmasked there. So that's why it was so useful to us, so we can figure out, well, where is that clean area? Maybe that's a better way to do it. Instead of identifying something that's bad, maybe the better way to make a map is to identify what's good consistently.
I did make my own mold map of Incline Village.
You did?
Yeah. So, it was useful, and yet at the same time, it drove me crazy that certain areas could be so bad at one point and almost completely harmless
at a different point.
Yeah. Huh. So the danger in the map is to look at where I marked out the red zone and go, well, that's always going to be bad, so we can go there and find out, because it's predictable, when it was nothing of the kind. And we were talking about the various therapies and how they all fit.
Sure, yeah. Let's go back to that. What did other people do that were? What are some other things that they're doing, and it's still going about today? Doctors are still saying, let's put you on antifungals, right? Not antibiotics. Everybody knows antibiotics hurt your gut, right? And so now there's some doctors out there saying, well, you know what I mean, but there's some doctors out there that are pushing something different.
Some doctors are saying that antifungals will kill mold that is colonizing in your body.
Yeah, but have they proved that you're actually colonized with mold? Do you have a real fungal infection? Or are they just pushing useless drugs on you, trying to kill a toxin, which is not alive? It's something you inhaled. And I believe that the trichothecenes from Stachybotrys, which can't live in your body, by the way, are the worst toxin, and all the antifungals in the world aren't going to do a thing about it.
Because it's a chemical.
It's a chemical.
It's like throwing an antibiotic at arsenic.
Or a virus. Antibiotics not going to affect a virus.
Right.
And yet doctors do it anyway.
They do it all the time. They overprescribe it constantly.
And they create antibiotic-resistant bacteria for no purpose, because it didn't really help you. That wasn't the problem.
So what are some of the other therapies that people tried back then that they're still trying today?
One of my favorites was the tuning forks.
Okay, tell me, sound therapy. You're talking about sound therapy.
Well, you talk about, rife, if you can...
Resonance.
Right, the resonance. If you can create exactly the right vibration,
sure,
that it'll kill pathogens. Well, there was a shop down in Incline where you could get tuning forks that were supposed to, if you got the right one for the right pathogen, you could cure yourself by dinging this tuning fork.
Well, if that was true, then that would work.
Well, it was an interesting theory, but I never saw it actually work.
So you've never actually seen it work with somebody yet.
And when the CDC came out and saw people doing that, they go, these people are crazy. they're walking around ringing bells.
And so people were doing that around town?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you could go to the shop and you could get crystals, and you could get your own personalized mantra to chant.
Okay.
Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And,
okay.
And we had it all. So in the midst of all this...
And you didn't see anybody else getting well like you were simply by going out to a pristine area.
Right.
And, quote, becoming unmasked, in your words, unmasked. And then when they come back into an area, they can figure out when there's something that's moldy.
The best results that I saw were from going a completely organic diet and taking vitamin C to bowel.
Lots of it?
Yeah, lots of vitamin C to bowel tolerance.
So you're talking 10,000 milligrams, 20,000 milligrams, 50,000 milligrams, that idea.
Yeah. Grams,
We're talking
grams and grams.
grams, yeah, just grams of the stuff.
Yeah.
I've got friends that have tried that, and it does seem to help with the immune system.
It did seem to help, and these people got a certain level of function back. And here I go out to the desert, and I go from barely being able to walk to climbing this 500-foot sand dune. And I'm going, that's major.
Well, you took it further. You didn't just climb a 500-foot sand dune. You climbed one of the largest mountains in Northern California.
Oh, that was later. That was years later. I'm talking about 1986.
Yeah.
So before we got into extreme mold avoidance. I was just doing general mold avoidance back when and that wasn't good enough. It helped. It helped a lot. It was worth doing, but I didn't have any real strategy to it. It was just mostly